We live, we're recording, and we're recording. What is up, guys? It is Ponzerelli back with Firestrike, and today we really don't have any real plans, honestly. We're probably just going to be making some sort of video to let you guys know that we're still around. As the future for Firestrike eSports, this video, honestly, we're making this video right now because we just felt motivated to make one, and we really don't have any real purpose, so like, whatever this might be, we'll just go ahead and record it and probably publish it and stuff like that. But right now, we really have nothing much to talk about. If you guys want to hear us talk about anything, you can go ahead and watch this video. But this is just going to be about non-scripted stuff, nothing about the future of Firestrike or anything like that. But we are going to be talking about mostly stuff about Firestrike eSports. Just go ahead, sit back and enjoy. Think of it as more of like a podcast. You can probably just sit down and maybe like if you're reading a book or something, or doing your dishes, or eating, or maybe working out, maybe you can listen to this or whatever. But right now I'm joined with Zero 1.0. So say hello, buddy.
Long time no see, peoples.
Yep, and basically, just go ahead and sit back and enjoy. So, talking about Firestrike eSports here, I am very sad to say that Firestrike eSports disbanded on April 7th, 2019. Basically, the reason why like our team started to like disband and everything like that was because a lot of people think of it as a dominoes. This is a perfect example. Basically, the fall of Firestrike eSports came out as one person left, and then everybody else started to leave after, and it basically all piled up to even the leaders leaving, Wise Guy leaving, everybody leaving. So, if any other PUBG Mobile esports team here watching this video, because I am going to promote this video out there, if you guys are watching this video, this is probably going to be some of the most important leadership stuff you guys should probably know about. I don't want to say myself as being like a great, ultra amazing leader, because if I'm going to be real with you, I just don't think that I was a great leader during Firestrike eSports, and I have done my research and stuff, a great leadership. I was wanting to take a leadership class, but looks like it's not going to be available next year. But basically, here are just some tips I'm going to be talking about. You ready, Zero?
Ready anytime.
Alrighty, so basically, here's the thing that I got to talk to you guys about. I have a Google slide presentation about how to make a successful esports clan through Discord. I haven't finished it. I'm only on chapter 4 with exponentials and statistics. So I haven't really finished that project yet. Don't know if I'll ever finish it, but I will drop a link in the description below for you guys to read to broaden your knowledge on PUBG Mobile, not PUBG Mobile esports, but just esports teams in general. If there's one thing you guys need to know is that this is not a personal thing. You need to know that esports is called esports for a reason. It's electronic sports. So basically, when you think of it, just remove the E. What do you get? Sports. What are kinds of sports out there? Football, American football, even basketball, baseball, even track and field, wrestling, all of the cool sports that are out there. If there's one thing that sports have in common, it's that there's always some sort of team. And, in esports, there's always a team as well. Now, think about the types of scales in when it comes to sports. You have high school, middle school, high school, then you have like, collegiate in most places, then you have like the National League or like the Olympics or something like that. So basically, when it comes to stuff like that, I'm not a complete expert, but I will tell you everything I know that I most likely believe that is the best way to handle an esports clan. Okay, so I assume if you're watching this video, you're probably around 14 to 17 years old. You're probably not an adult yet. So if you are an adult, then I don't think you need to worry about this, because you most likely are living out on your own and making a stable income. But for the people here that are kids, like I am, I'm 17 for example, it's going to be, this is just the reality, it's just going to be a lot more difficult for you to actually create a successful esports team. You might be thinking, oh, why? Like, that's not really fair or anything like that. Well, here's the thing. basically whenever you know have school and everything like that, work also, once when you're older, when you graduate high school, you have work, but that's on a separate note. When you don't have a place of your own and you don't have your own standards or your own sort of curfew or your own time, it gets a lot more difficult to manage a team than you think. Whenever I was coaching when I was leading Firestrike eSports, I invested a lot of my time on making the team, and honestly, there were times where the internet got shut off because maybe I got grounded over something stupid probably, and like that stuff I just can't control. Whenever like stuff like that happens, or like there's so much extraneous stuff when you're a child that prohibits you from actually making things successful, to where it just makes things a lot more difficult. You don't have enough time to invest, especially if you're on extracurriculars and all that type of stuff. School takes up 35 hours every week basically, and if you're going to invest, you're going to have to spend a lot of your time on your team, and that's going to start making you focus less on school and all that type of stuff. So here's the thing. You must be invested in your esports team. Also, not to mention that whatever you bring in your team, no matter like people that you recruit or, trying to make it the best you possibly can, make sure it's your best opportunity to not make this a personal thing. Because as soon as you make it personal, you're vulnerable. That means that you're going to have an even bigger, whole ego and everything. You're just going to... What's the best way to describe this? Because I'm clearly not good at talking today. So basically, think of it like this. You're leading some sort of team, right? And if you guys get emotional or any sort of close impact familyhood type thing, it's going to make it a lot more... There's a lot more extraneous stuff there, if you will. Like, there's a lot more extra things compared to the premise of the team. The premise of the team is to be successful in the team, right? Am I not wrong? It's to be successful and to win tournaments, all that type of stuff. So why would you ever bring your personal life or any sort of thing into your esports world? Because I guarantee you, in a football game, the person probably isn't thinking, oh, I can't believe that girl rejected me and everything, guys. They're going to be ready for the game. Get your head in the game. You know what I mean? So, like, that's basically, like, the premise of this, is that you need to be focused on the team and the team only. You can't be thinking about all the other stuff that's going on in your life and just bring all that stuff out. Stop making it personal. This is more to the leaders out there. Don't look at this as your own personal creation. You need to look at this as a product. This is a product of esports, and you're going to be recruiting people. This is a business. If you guys are trying to make money through this stuff, you guys need to be focused on the games, and you guys need to be acting professional. No, it doesn't mean you guys can't have fun, you guys can't get along. It just means that you guys cannot be overly emotional with this type of stuff. Because if you're going to let that stuff get to you, then that's going to affect your games. How do I know this? How do you know this, Ponzerelli? How do you even know this stuff? It's because I've seen it happen to my team. I heavily emphasized on familyhood on my esports team, and everybody basically started to get worse, and it started to get a lot more emotional. It started to get a lot more close and a lot more, personal. And whenever they left and I wanted them to come back, which honestly, you should never beg if you're a leader. Never look desperate if you're a leader, guys. I do not recommend that to anybody. Then that stuff just happens. The less personal you make it, the better. You should care, obviously. This is something you should care about. But this is not something that should bring your personal feelings to. Just like any other sort of business, like maybe you're creating some sort of story. Let's say you're a story writer, a manga writer, or whatever. Your stories may be really cool, and you might say, oh, this is my own story, it's my everything. It's going to be hard to let go, and it's going to be hard to take criticism when it comes to your own personal creation. Look at it as it is. It's a product. Your esports team is an esports team, not a family. You guys are going to be close. You guys might be really good friends, but I don't believe that, this is my whole philosophy, I don't believe that your feelings and your emotions stuff should go into the team. The team is the team. The only thing you should be discussing is the games. Alright, guys, we're back with Zero 1.0, and he's going to share his experience with Firestrike eSports here soon, so go right ahead, buddy.
So I was first exposed to Firestrike eSports all the way back in late 2018. Um, by my friend Dark. We know each other in real life, but that's not important. And that's when I met Ponzerelli. He was a better leader back in the start when it was smaller because there were not as many people, and it was just way better because he could keep track of everybody. He had way more time, and soon the years started picking up fast, and everybody started getting closer to each other. New people started joining in to the clan like that, and it was going strong. But then there was a lot of drama. Like was getting like really disrespected by everyone, including teammates Kelvin and Nega Mega. Um, Ponzerelli was begging Dark to come back, and then as soon as Dark left, everybody was just gone. And that was the varsity, the JV, which I was a part of. Well, let's just say that didn't even take off well. I was the only real active member who even did anything. Like, I would be active, like, yo, I'm available. I can play at this time. And then everybody else would be like, nah, I can't play right now. I gotta eat. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And they weren't trying to participate. For me, I was at a good place in that, like, at the time. I was perfectly stable. And then soon me and Ponzerelli started getting closer. Me and Dark were already close. And then all the other teammates were getting closer too. And that was a huge problem because then there was a lot of drama that formed from that. Like the respect thing. And that was later a respect problem for Ponzerelli because he treated them more like a sibling than anything else, not a teammate, not he's the leader. He begged for people to come back.
I'll admit,
And
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I was kind of a part of that too, because like me being at the time a 13, almost 14-year-old kid, I was kind of clueless to things still.
Mm-hmm.
I was just out of it, and I was just taking your side, and I didn't really think of it in a logical sense. And now that I'm older, now that I look back and see things, Firestrike wasn't a really good clan once the video where Pons and I started talking about the future of Firestrike. Like after that, it kind of declined. It was sad. Like everybody, it was peaking around that time anyways. And then everybody started to leave, especially the loss of Dark. Not he didn't die, no, but like
yeah, I agree.
but but the loss of Dark on our team really affected how everybody wanted to, because a lot of people stayed because of Dark, and soon everybody just started giving up. Like I didn't give up, not yet, but it started to get so bad to where the leader, not even the captains would just start kicking people off the team. Like they kicked me off the team because quote they were trying to, because quote I wasn't active enough and I didn't do anything, when all I was doing was trying to get into a scrimmage, maybe try to have a 1v1 with people, or even try to get people to get on and just play with me. Like
yeah,
that was pretty messed up. And they treated all the other JV members like they were trash. They couldn't be accepted or do anything, and it just really sucked. It was toxic. And anytime I tried to play with anyone, they didn't want to. It sucked, honestly. And that's how I feel Firestrike was a failure, in general. Let alone the leadership problems with Ponzerelli and it was just a failure overall. For the very beginning, it was great. It was going well, and then when we finally took off, it was hell. It was disaster. We let ego get to our heads, and we thought we were gonna be on top of the world, and then we just crashed. Like all good teams do, all good things do. We just crashed, and it was just sucky. Now we like, ever since we disbanded, it was like it's been better on everyone else because now Pons can have time to focus on school. I have time to do things like I can go out, I can go enjoy myself, I can do my schoolwork and get all that done. But everybody was so either too invested or just not invested at all, and that's not the best thing anyway. It was terrible. The team was a failure, and it's not. I'm not ashamed to admit it because, like a mistake is a mistake. You can't fix it, but you can try to learn from it and maybe start anew. And that's what I'm saying right now because I'll start with the leadership skills from Ponzerelli himself. Right, his leadership skills were very, very weak. Um he didn't try to be bossy, but he didn't try to be a boss, like a leader. He was trying to be buddy buddy with everybody, be friends. When that's not what you're supposed to do. When you're a leader, you're supposed to have a balance between friendship,
Or bro, when you're just
school.
here listening to and getting yourself freaking torn down. I mean, you're
Hey,
all
bro,
right. You're all right for the most part. Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro, but like
No, it's
you
fine.
were like you didn't have a balance between school, for us as a team, nor a balance between leadership skills. Like you would prioritize us over everything. You didn't like your schoolwork was just like from what I remember, your schoolwork was declining a lot more. And when the team disbanded, you were focused, you were on it.
Yeah, actually, I think around the time we made that Firestrike video, I think I had like a few C's in my report card, and then by the time Firestrike eSports disbanded, I was at AB honor roll. But that's beside the point, though. I feel like what we need to get out of this is that not all about the bad. You know, yeah, we could always pick on the bad things about Firestrike eSports, just like about any other team, right? And yeah, you could say Firestrike eSports is a failure and everything like that, but at the end of the day, I do think we've learned a lot of valuable things, right? I feel like when it comes to actual business and a lot of investment and things, I feel like we can learn a lot from this. But for the most part, though, your first established thing isn't always going to be the best. For example, the first story you write it's probably going to be crap. The first business idea you think of is probably going to suck. You know what I mean? It's just a process of getting better and better. And the fact that this is the first established esports clan I have ever created, I'm only going to do better from here. So if you guys are ever thinking about creating an esports team or anything like that, the best way to learn is to take action and to actually create one on yourself and see what outcomes that could possibly happen. Because this is going to get into a very like personal thing. I'm not going to try to get into very personal stuff, but I have an issue with taking action on things because of certain things that's happened in my life, right? So basically, it's been hard to... I've been more of a dreamer, if you will. I've been being a visionary, imaginary person. I always thought about, you know, what if Firestrike was like this and not what Firestrike is? And although it's good to think about visionary stuff and future planning and everything like that, you have to keep planted on the present as well. Otherwise, you're not going to make any progress. You guys need, if you guys are wanting to get the best results into creating a great esports clan, it's to create one. Who is stopping you right now? You need to create an esports team. You can list all the podcasts you want and everything. How is that going to get you any closer to creating a great esports team? You need to start now. Exactly. You need to start now. What Zero said, a lot of things he said was right, you know? Like, a lot of the stuff wasn't really successful. And honestly, that's just a process of learning. You know, there's just a lot of stuff about Firestrike esports that a lot of people miss, but I do feel like Zero, you and I probably miss it the most.
Yeah, we were the most invested in it, you know. And to me, it was just it was an amazing thing to get to know people. Like one of the best things was to get to know the people, to get to know you, and to just have fun playing games, right? But with all the failures, it was with a lack of words, it was pretty shitty. Um, it's about to get demonetized now. Oh no. Uh, so basically, I feel like Nick overthought things. He took things, and he was just wrapping his mind over things too much. So if you're
I'm
trying to
making a
become an
video.
esports leader, one, do not overthink things. Do
Making a
not
video,
think of
bro. Go.
yourself. Don't overthink that
Podcasting.
things to where like you feel like it's gonna be a failure, or you think that it's gonna be a success. Focus on the present. You gotta focus on, okay, what can I do to make it better right now, so it can be better in the future.
Yeah,
Two,
definitely.
don't get too attached. Don't get too attached to the people and the team itself, because that's really gonna tear you down in the end, especially if it disbands like Firestrike did. And it took an emotional toll on me and Pond, oh, especially.
Exactly. So
'Cause-
what have we learned here? All right, we're gonna go over bullet points on what we've learned. All right, when it comes to making esports
Yeah,
things, you have to be invested. So therefore, you have to put in time and stuff. You have to create your own schedule to invest your time.
and
You
you have
need
to
to
find
look
the
at it
balance between.
as what it is. It's a product. It is a creation that you've made. It's not anything personal. All right. Also,
Find a
one thing
balance
that
between teammates, schoolwork, and if you're a kid and doing this, but I assume most of you guys are kids, because if you're an adult, you don't really need to be watching this, like you said in the first part. And the team, you can't jumble up the two. I mean the three, and then because everything's just gonna be chaos. And four, you need to become a better leader, assert yourself. You gotta not get too attached to things. You gotta let things happen, and also try to prevent certain things. Like if so, an example of letting things happen would be like, um, let someone leave. Let someone leave, because if you beg them to come back, you're just gonna look desperate. That's the thing. But something to prevent would be find ways and find things that bring most teams down, and build it, and just kind of build it up to where it's a strength of the team. Don't let it bring you down. Don't let it bring anyone else down.
exactly. All right, I think we've actually learned a lot of things here. If you guys want to see more Firestrike esports videos like these, honestly, I would love to make them. And honestly, like, it'd be really nice to make some sort of podcast and stuff for Firestrike. Maybe it doesn't have to be esports or anything like that, but something that we can do on our own time. That'd be absolutely
Yeah.
great. And honestly, Zero, it's been great talking to you, bro. We're gonna go cut off the video here. It has been nice talking to you guys. It's been Ponzerelli and Zero 1.0. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Go ahead and take care.